What we're looking at is the Astromatrix Tarot and the Lumicela Tarot in a side-by-side. So here we go. Let's get going. And I've got them hopefully organized so we can do the side-by-side. The Astromatrix definitely looks more traditional. The Lumicela is its own kind of wonderland, which sometimes tarot creators tend to do that, and they rename the suits and all of that. So this is what we're looking at. Got the Fool and the Mage, the High Priestess. Now, I always love to see what's going on with the High Priestess cards. Really pretty. Keep going. Because this could take forever to go through. Oh, that light is really reflective and glary. Sorry, guys. So we're moving right through these. Very, very, this one feels like if you went inside the Borrower's novel or something like that. And this is a more modern take. It's traditional Rider-Waite in a lot of respects, but still a little bit more modern. I love this for the lovers. I think that's beautiful. And I've got to say, the Astromatrix is peopled throughout the whole thing, but the Lumicela is not. And so I'm showing you the majors here. Quite a bit of difference in this. But the Lumicela is made to be loom workers and threads and needles and crafts and that kind of thing. And the Astromatrix is just a different take on the regular. So they're quite contrasting. But still, look. I mean, they get some of the elements just fine. Hermit. Really liking that. Here's the Wheel of Fortune on this. You can see. Like, really, really different. Very old world feel here. And I don't even know how I describe this one. But we'll see. Justice is coming up. And on the Lumicela, they did not number the majors. So, just so you knew, or are noticing. Hangman, beautiful. But see, this has some modern takes, as you would see. Death. Just really differently fabulous. Now this one is interesting. The Devil here, traditional. The Devil here, it almost looks like the Fool or the Jester that could be considered as such has suddenly become diabolical. So I really, the Diabolus. It is like suddenly the Fool has taken over the whole court. I don't know. I like it as far as that goes. The Tower, beautiful, beautiful rendition here. And quite dramatic here. Sometimes it's fun to see the contrast in how an interpretation would be. Traditional, pretty traditional, high contrast there. This one, fairly traditional. For the Astromatrix throughout, it's pretty traditional, but it does have some elements of modern in it, where the Lumicela has old world feel and appeal throughout, pretty much the whole thing. Now, the world. Okay, so we're going to switch now to here, and I'm going to show, whoa, there we go, yeah. So we've got the coins, and they've renamed the suits, and I don't really dig that, but the Lumicela on this one is tricky to understand the relation. So I'm glad that what they've done is put the keywords, and then you can go from there. Now you can kind of see in this one, you can see the balancing going on in the coins, and then you see it right down in there. So you can see elements, but it's just a little bit different. This one made me actually think of the light workers, where they have three things being woven, and it almost made me think also of a stoplight. And it's like, okay, making things work for a teamwork situation here. Just very different on the Lumicela. And then here's the more modern. Look at his face. These ones on the Astromatrix speak much louder to me than these do. You have to look a little bit differently. Like there's not a even balancing going on here like we saw within the two. It looks kind of like tangled and mess and not working well together. You can see when you look closely that there's distress going on in whatever this system is. It's not right, not working right. Okay, here's the 6 on this. See, here. So they've done good. It's definitely very different. So it depends what kind of, I guess, mood that you want to set in your reading and what mood you're in as you're going through the cards. Totally different feel. Now, you know I love adding cards to the collection that speak to me. And this one, I just wish they had done a little bit more peopling. Like the page here, you see. Here we've got people again coming through. But as far as just the basic ace to 10, they aren't peopled. And this was a little, this is the knight, this is the knight. This one's so senior looking, so old looking. It's like, it doesn't seem like, he definitely doesn't look like a young knight or a college age type of person, or even a young man. But you can see the side by side going on. Okay, we'll continue and do a few more. We'll do the whole thing so you can get an idea of both of these decks. I don't know which one that you might be interested in, but if you're interested in them, I might as well show you. Ooh, okay, these are the cups. And like I say, they've changed the names of the suits, but you can kind of see what they're doing. Just very, very different. Okay. Two of Cups is one of my favorites cards. It's stronger than the Lovers in many regards, but sometimes we're seeing it more often and modernly illustrated with the soulmates not being representative of the masculine and feminine. And sometimes it's just the soulmates, kindred spirits meaning, or the perfect business partner. So I kind of like that some of the more modern decks are understanding partnership a little bit differently. So really, really well done. Now this one, celebration here, celebration here. So you can see the keywords they've done really quite well. And the artwork expressed it quite well on the other side of it. So it's like, all right, don't know if I'm in love with the Lumicela yet, but they're on point. Like they've got it on point. They've figured it out. The other thing that's tricky is whereas the majors had the labels, let me show you down here, right? They've moved them to the top now on this other one. And so it makes it tricky for if you're doing deck mods or whatever. And also all that dark is very, very reflective. So I'm not sure I love that, but it does create a certain kind of a feeling. Okay. And I'm using this camera that's a little bit tricky for me to get used to. So we'll just keep on going for you. That way, some people will have a favorite card before they select a tarot deck. Sometimes it's a favorite major, or they'll have a few of the minors they want to follow and see what's going on. And we'll see what happens here. Now this one is just calling it departure. That's illustrating it really well, but there's just so much more going on than departure. So, very interesting. And usually this one is that smug merchant looking person, and they've illustrated with a woman. So I do like the Astromatrix has done its own take on some of this in a different kind of way. Get my fingers out of the way there. See if I can do a little bit more. Again, we're in the pages now, so we're going to see people again. So you see that the people through all of the majors and the quartz, but not through the numbers on the Lumicela. And that's just a personal preference. Maybe somebody reading Marseille would be like, oh, quit being such a baby ant. It's you know, perfectly fine to have it that way. Just a preference. Okay. And you can see the gilding on the edges here on the Lumicela. And then I inked the other one purple because it's my second of my Astromatrix, and I really like it. Even though some of it is modern, it's enough traditional that if you're just learning, this would be a great one to learn on. This one wouldn't be as great for just learning, I don't feel. However, it does take you, the Lumicela does take you into this old world atmosphere. So it just depends on what kind of reading you're doing, who you're reading for, that kind of thing. This one, totally great. This one, I'm not quite sure how I have that relate, but that's what it's supposed to be. And then this one, and the filaments are the wands on this. So it's like, okay. And teamwork is one that I associate with the 3 of coins more. But like, here's the guidebook for this one, and the guidebook for this one. And this one even says you're going in here. Filaments, threads, wands. That's how it's going. And then it explains why. You can kind of see. And then you can kind of see how it says the 3. So yeah, that's what they're doing. So it's a little bit different take. 4 of wands here. And for many, this comes in as the 1111 card and huge celebration. And again, the representation of the feeling of the card more than we must have the equal amount of male and equal amount of female representation. I like that there's a girl in the battle here, in this mock battle here. Victory here. So this one I feel is pretty inclusive. This one I feel is pretty distinct to itself. And that's totally okay. This is why I love tarot so much and all the different decks. To see the different ways that artists view these cards. And the meanings of them. Like swiftness, haste, speed. This is the only card typically that doesn't have a person on it. Is this one. But they've done well with it. That's just beautiful. And maybe it's the crafter in me that really, I mean, how would I not? Look at my darn nails. Of course I'm going to love this card. It's just too cool. It's persistence. It's super, super cool. So yeah, of course. I know this is probably a little bit long, but if you guys are looking for specific cards, I want you to be able to see. Great page here. Look at this. This is where it's a little bit strange to me, is this Equitus. And this one is young, but the other Equitus knight was very old looking. So it depends. But I guess if you're putting them in Knights of the Realm or Equitus position, they would be different. And young and old important. Okay. All right, now we're going to go to the last suit, which is the swords. Oops, let's get this over here. The swords. Okay, hopefully we've got this enough. Traditional, not. This 2 of Swords, I like that they weren't just seated on something cold. They kind of had a little bit of a throne going on, which I found very interesting. They were more secure than somebody would think, but maybe that also would indicate more meanings of being comfortable in your own mindset. Even though you're indecisive, part of it, you have to take the action eventually. And this just has the simple That's a tough one. That is always a tough card to see. But it's one of those that helps you understand the deck really well. So, again, you're getting to see all the cards in these and see the difference. Rest, rest. Like, they both understand the meanings of the cards pretty well. It's just a different, very different way to see it. A peopled deck versus a less peopled deck. I don't know what the term would that for that would be, but this one I thought was interesting. And almost like a mini pirate looking, and I liked that one. And they have escape rather than trapped. And this is the card where it looks almost like somebody's held imprisoned by their own thoughts. And then even worse, even worse anxiety coming through to the state of fear. But really, really great representations. And we'll be done in just a second, guys. And then, whoa, whoa, whoa. Tricky on this. There's those knights. See, this it's a different age in my mind altogether, but it's not like knights can't grow old or that we don't have glory days in our youth. We do. So it's like just different a little bit than the traditional. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I love this. Really pretty. And then these two. So these are latest editions. That's the reason they're here now. And again, this is what they are. The Astromatrix. Flipping the back. Woo, like this. So you can see. And the Lumicela. And I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but... So that's what we got, guys. All right. I hope you've enjoyed the flip through. See you next time.